Hey guys, welcome back to the CARF L39 Skygate build video series. If you guys have any questions, comments, make sure you list them below. I'll do my best to answer them. Also, if you have not subscribed to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. When you hit the subscribe button, also hit the bell and you'll be notified of new videos from this build. Also, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, and thanks so much for tuning in. All right, guys, so the wings are on for the first time, and everything looks absolutely awesome. So it's huge, barely fits in my garage with all the junk, but looks absolutely stunning. The wing is all wired, the left-hand wing. It's basically ready to receive the gear doors on both of them, and yeah, looks really good. So the remaining steps for the gear itself is to put the gear doors on there. I need to finish Loctiting some of the bolts, and then do the vinyl on the air brake, and that's basically the underside of the plane. I'll show you one thing to check here first, but I guess first the wiring's all done as well too. You can see it in there, and pretty much everything's done on the inside except last couple things of the receivers, and the pilots have turning heads, so that'll need to be done as well too. All the plumbing's done. So one thing to note on the kit, when you get the wing actually bolted on and secured with the bolt, the flaps are a little bit tight because they rub on the frame here, or the fuselage. And I already did this to the other wing because it was mounted previously, but basically just need to take a sanding block and just sand the area where the flap butts into the airframe. You can see it clicks there, so it actually won't even move. So that's just something to be aware of. Yeah, that's it. Okay guys, the next thing I'm going to work on here is the vinyls and also the doors. I want to get the underside complete and ready to go, so it'll be the last time I need to flip the plane over is my goal. So that's kind of the next big steps. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do the vinyl. This is my initial thinking and probably the way I'm going to go, but so I'm going to cut a piece out that kind of fits in this area that's too big. I'm going to lay it over top, take my X-Acto knife, trim out the vinyl, peel off the excess. The reason I want to do that, I mean, I could just cut a flat piece this width, but the problem is that we've got this angle on the fairing piece, so have to deal with that. So I think that's what I'm going to do there. The air brake portion, what I'm probably going to do is just take the air brake portion that I cut out and try and lay a piece of paper over top of it, and then trace the piece I need from the old air brake. And hopefully that works well, and we'll be able to get that wrapped up. Gear door wise, once the vinyl's done, I think I'll work on the gear doors, and obviously that's just a matter of retracting the gear, mounting it on there, Probably going to use screws for that. But so that's kind of the next big steps, next things I'm working on. Need to do a little bit of cleanup on the main gear door on this side. There's just a little bit of rubbing on this section right here, so just a little bit, not much. Just want to make sure there's no restriction there, obviously, at any point. So that's what we're working on next. All right, guys, the underside of this plane is complete. So we've gone through and sanded a little bit of the doors out. You can't see it now because it's gone, but some of the molding lines or some of the door lines or panel lines were still left. So on all the tight areas, you could see it. But that's basically it, all done. So vinyl's been completed. That was actually a fairly easy step. It was a lot easier than I thought it would be. The tracing it on a piece of paper worked well. I just took the pieces, the individual air brakes, stuck them underneath the piece of paper. It's really hard to see, but I just kind of marked out the corners and then drew it with a ruler, and it worked out really well. So that was awesome. The doors are all done. Now, because the gear is not the Air Tech gear, I think it's called, so the gear is actually shifted back, and it's a little bit different setup. So on the if you look in the manual, you'll see that the amount of door you can keep is about that much, and there's just a little tiny square. So with the Electron gear, you have to cut more of the door away, which is fine. I mean, this is so minor that you're not going to see it in flight. So, anyways, so when this extends, this is the bare minimum. So there's about a clearance of about a couple millimeters between the top of that gear door and the airframe or the wings. So, but that's it. So this is the piece of vinyl. That's the piece of vinyl, and then these pieces are the vinyl, and then this little guy right there. So very, very happy with the way it worked out. I'll extend this gear and show you what it looks like. Yeah, works great. And there's the gear doors. You can see just a little bit of clearance there. So worked out very, very well. Painted the screws gray. Painted the back supports gray as well too, so they're not bare wood. But here's what it looks like. There we go. So, and then again, I cleaned up the doors a little bit. So just used my Dremel and had the vacuum running and just cleaned up around these areas, just so it was a little bit more play. Yeah, the way I set these doors up on the strut is the front panel line has the recess or the groove line. So this is the airflow's going this way, right? So this is nice and flush, and I sanded the wood block so it would have a bit of an angle to it, and then the back side actually sits on top of the wing. I did that I didn't want to start sanding out this strut cover or this gear door a lot. It would have fit having it centered, but then you only had like maybe a millimeter or two catching on this front and back part of the wing. So this way it doesn't interfere with the airflow. There's no risk of it catching. There's nice space all the way around it, and happy with the way that worked out. So that's the underside of the plane, guys. The plane is ready to be flipped over and put on its legs for almost the first time. Obviously in the earlier part of this video it was on its wheels, but that's it. Super exciting. I'm going to clean up the underside of this airframe first, just so that's done, and you can see a little bit of the bubble wrap stuff is left there. So I'll give it a quick wipe down, and then we'll get some help flipping this thing over.